Welcome to Natural Styles, styling options for your natural hair. Sponsored by Sharpen Your Skills Continuing Education and Salon. So thank you for joining me for Solomon's Lock Retwist and Cut. He's been on his lock journey at this particular point for 9 months. So he's coming in today for his lock retwist and his haircut. He's going to get his scalp cleansed. And now for his lock maintenance regimen, he comes in about once a month. So we're going to start with his fade. I call his locks mop top locks because they kind of remind me of a little bit of a mop on top of his head, but he likes them. They've grown quite a bit in the first 9 months of his lock journey. And as you can see, I have my length guard attachment on my clipper. So I can get it, to the length that I want it to be. And with the length guard attachments, it really helps you to be able to, get that cut done quicker. And for those of you who maybe are a little apprehensive about, doing clipper cutting, those length guard attachments really help, with keeping you exactly where you want to be. You're not doing it kind of like freestyle. Those length guard attachments take off a specific length. I believe that's a 0 guard, so it takes it down pretty short. You just pretty much is going to have a shadow in that area. He's been wearing his hair a little bit longer, for the winter months in the area where I'm using the clippers right now. I hold that ear so you don't want it to get in the way of being able to take that clipper around that ear area where you don't have that, that much space. So you hold that ear down. And try to keep that fade line around the, the occipital bone in the back. And right now I'm taking the clipper down, with the growth pattern of the hair. Anytime you take the clipper and you go against the growth pattern of the hair, you're going to take more hair off. When you go with the growth pattern of the hair, you're going to take less hair off. And I use the brush to brush that hair down, see how the hair is laying as I'm going through the cut. It also takes out any of the, the hair that is cut, any excess hair, it moves that out of the way and out of the hair. So you know exactly what you already cut and what still needs to be cut. And working my way all the way around the head, on the sides as well. I just use a sectioning clip to keep the locks out of the way. And continue using the clipper with the length guard attachment, going down in the same direction of the growth pattern of his hair. On this part of the hair, I switched to a number 1 length guard attachment, which takes off, less hair than, of course, than the 0 guard attachment that I was using in the bottom portion of his head, in the nape area, and the lower sides. Now here I'm going up against the growth pattern of the hair because I want to take a little bit more of the hair off right in that area. Where that fade line is. And go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Once again, going against the growth pattern of the hair, which allows me to take off a little bit more hair than when I was going in the same direction as the growth pattern of the hair. clean off any excess hair that's fallen behind the ears and on the neck. Now we're going to detail his hairline with the trimmers. Detailing the hairline, around the ears as well. He wears it squared off in the back. Once again, holding that ear down, moving it out of the way so you're not hitting the ears with the trimmer. And it also gives you a little bit more room in that small space to be able to maneuver your trimmers around in that ear area. Doing the sides along his sideburn area. And in the front. I'm going to clip his locks out of the way to do the front part of his hairline. Solomon has a natural widow's peak. That is his natural hairline. He has a very strong widow's peak. We used to cut it off when he was younger, and as he got older, he said he wanted his hairline to grow back naturally. And so he has a very strong widow's peak. Detailing his sideburn area. And yes, he likes long sideburns. holding that ear down once again to give myself more room to be able to maneuver my trimmer around that small area around the ear. And I used for my trimmers, those are the Blackout limited edition T outliners and the Andis Beauty Master clippers. So now I'm just going to clean around the hairline with Seabreeze antiseptic. And cleanse around the hairline where we just detailed with the trimmers. You know, and cleanse those that area with cotton and the Seabreeze. So I'm going to use my 2-prong comb, and I'm going to use Cantu, Root Relief, and Root Rinse. ACV, apple cider vinegar. Cantu, Root Relief, and Root Rinse. On his scalp, I also use the Tropical Roots shampoo spray and the Tropical Roots growth oil. So I'm spraying the Tropical Roots shampoo spray. Sometimes it's referred to as a dry shampoo, but it's actually a liquid. And I'm spraying that on his scalp first. So I'm going to use that to kind of lift up any buildup that might be on the scalp, any flakes. I'm going to spray that on the hair first. Spray that on the hair, the locks, the scalp. And I'm massaging the scalp. Kind of bring everything up to the surface. And like I said earlier, he comes in now about once a month. Also massaging the shampoo spray in on the sides and the back of the hair as well. Really massaging and stimulating that scalp. His locks don't unravel anymore. They're past that stage. You know, they're budding, and he wanted them, you know, to start thickening up, so we didn't retwist them as much. Like I said, he just comes in once a month now. And so the less you retwist them, you know, the more that they're going to thicken up. So now what I'm doing, I'm applying the root relief to his scalp in between the locks. Applying it in and using my fingers to really work the root relief product onto his scalp. Like I said, this is apple cider vinegar root relief. This is can 2. So now I'm going to take my 2-prong comb and I'm going to go in between the locks and just use that 2-prong comb to really go in and just kind of work through his scalp. It also kind of uplifts the whatever is on the scalp. If there's any flakes, if there's any dryness, if there's any buildup on the scalp, this helps bring it to the surface. It also ensures that I get every area of his head. And you notice I have it in at a slanted angle, so I'm not, you know, using it to dig into his scalp, but to really slide it across his scalp. Checking all over, making sure that I really work that product through, you know, not only with my hands, but also with my 2-prong comb. So now we're going to lean him back into the shampoo bowl. And I'm going to apply the can 2 apple cider vinegar root rinse to his scalp, further cleansing his scalp as well as the locks themselves. The root relief is a little bit thicker, that was what I applied to his scalp first, using that 2-prong comb. And then the root relief is more of a thinner liquid. But both of them are apple cider vinegar. So once again, massaging the head, massaging the scalp, working that in, working that root rinse in. Also working it down the sides and in the back portions of his scalp as well. Getting the hair clean and getting the scalp cleanse is very, very important. A lot of times when people come in for their lock maintenance, they do have a level of buildup on the hair, depending on how long it's been since they've come in, you know, for their last maintenance visit. You know, so Solomon comes in, you know, on a regular basis. So we are able to really keep his, you know, buildup that's on his scalp and or the locks themselves at a minimum, which is great. Now just rinsing out the root relief, the root rinse, the shampoo spray that I used on his scalp and on the locks. Rinsing everything really well, lifting up the locks, making sure the water gets, you know, applied and sprayed in between the locks to make sure that all of the product is rinsed out. Because you don't want product buildup on the scalp, you don't want product buildup on the lock. Like I said, really getting in there, in between the locks, lifting them up, separating them to make sure that I do a thorough rinsing of the scalp and the hair. So now that I'm finished rinsing the products that I used off of his scalp and his locks, I'm going to, use the towel to towel dry his hair. Get some of the, the excess water out of his hair. And just like free-flowing natural hair, hair that is locked, it's not porous, so that hair, water tends to, just run off the hair and onto the face. So we try to towel dry it as well as possible. So now we're preparing to start his retwist. Separated the rest of the locks from the hair. Going to use 100% aloe vera distilled liquid. For his retwist today. Twisting and using the palm roll method. Just going to apply a clip at the base of the lock, at the scalp. And he's going to be wearing his locks forward and just spraying a little bit of the growth oil in between the parts. Continuing to twist and use the palm roll method, moving up each row on the top of his head. Using the pins to secure the locks in place in the direction that I want the hair to fall. Just spraying some growth oil on the scalp. Just doing, oiling the scalp as I go. Just spraying a little bit more of the aloe vera liquid, 100% aloe vera liquid. Just continuing to bring down more locks, row by row. Keeping what I'm doing organized, keeping the hair, the locks that I'm not working with yet, separated with a duckbill clip to keep them out of the way. And I'm placing the clips at the base, at the scalp, at an angle. The clips help to keep the hair really straightforward. A little bit more growth oil. And bring it down the next subsection of locks. I've moved back, worked my way back, all the way up to the top almost in the crown area of the head. And his locks have grown out a lot because those locks back in that area used to be really, short, kind of twiggy locks. But they've grown out quite a bit. He's been very patient and very cooperative in his lock journey. And that's very, very important because if you're impatient in your lock journey, if you have a lot of unrealistic expectations, the journey isn't going to be that enjoyable for you. But if you learn to, have realistic expectations, know that it's going to take some time. If you do these locks, with your natural hair from scratch, that you're going to have to let your hair go through the phases. You do not maintain locks the same way that you do free-flowing natural hair. It's a different maintenance routine. So you do have to have patience, and you have to cooperate with whoever may be installing your locks and maintaining your locks for you. Because it truly is a partnership between you and the stylist that is helping you through your lock journey. Not just to get them started and when they're actually locked, but when you need them styled after they have matured, and just making sure that you maintain a clean, healthy scalp. That is very, very important. And allowing that stylist to educate you on what you can do at home, to maintain a healthy scalp, to make sure that your locks continue to grow and mature and look great as they do. Solomon started out wearing twist outs. He used to just get his hair twisted and get the comb twist, and decided that he wanted to actually lock his hair. So we had to talk about what all of that actually entailed to find out if this is what he really wanted to do. It's a different way to wear your hair. It's also a different lifestyle. So these are things that, each client needs to understand before they make that decision to lock their hair. Are they going to do their part to be committed, at home, and taking care of their locks, taking care of their scalp, not allowing their scalp to be, just built up with, flakes and built up with product and, especially if you work outside, if you have a type of job where there's debris and dirt and materials that can end up in your hair, all of those things need to be talked about so that, you can be educated on what you need to do to protect your locks from, just constantly having all of those things falling in your hair and building up on your scalp. And if you want to, have trendy hairstyles, edgy hairstyles with your lock, or you just want to wear your locks and, just let them be free-flowing and hang. And all of that depends on the type of person that you are, what you think that you can pull off, your individual flavor and style. So we have made it all the way up to the top, back portion of his hair. Getting ready to put him under the dryer and let those twists dry. Oh, we got one more. Sorry about that. We have one more row. I think it's one more row. But what we're going to do after, we finish up these last few locks is he's going to go under the dryer and let those locks dry for about 30 minutes. And as you can see on the pictures that are provided, you see exactly how it turned out afterwards. The Solomon's mop top locks. So thank you for joining me for Natural Styles, styling options for your natural hair, sponsored by Sharpen Your Skills Continuing Education and Salon. Visit online at sharpenyourskills.com, email Ayaba at sharpenyourskills.com with all of your salon service appointment requests. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Lock, retwist, and cut. And thank you, Solomon, for being such a great client and model. We'll see you next time.